introduce my team and the flow to you, how we are going to go through the entire presentation. Priyanka ma'am, you have done the screen sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So once again, namaste to everyone. Very good afternoon. Sorry, it's evening. Very good evening to everyone present here. First of all, before starting with this presentation, I would like to thank Principal Ma'am for starting with this activity of presenting in different pedagogies, because during the process of preparation, we realized that it was a huge learning experience, and definitely it has added to my experience, to my learning as a teacher. So thank you so much, ma'am, for coming up with this wonderful idea. And also, I would like to thank my teammates, Priyanka Channa, Amar sir, Vandana ma'am, who have done a wonderful job. They really have done wonderfully well, and I'm sure they will actually impress you today. I'm very sure about it. I'm very confident. So thank you to my wonderful team for their wonderful efforts. So we are going to present interdisciplinary approach, where we are going to try to show through our presentation how a particular topic can be dealt with at different stages, keeping in mind that different subjects are covered. So when we talk about interdisciplinary, it is basically how a particular topic can be taught. Suppose if I'm talking history, teaching history, I'm not only teaching history, but how I am involving or incorporating other disciplines in it, like math, science, geography, language, arts, sports, culture, everything. So our topic was interdisciplinary. So we have taken the topic of Indus Valley Civilization. That's a history topic, and we have tried our best to ensure that we incorporate other disciplines into it while teaching that particular topic in the class. And हम लोगों ने इस तरह से प्लान किया है कि अलग अलग सेक्शंस में, सो वी एज पर एनईपी वी हैव 4 स्टेजेस. अपने 4 स्टेज होते हैं. फाउंडेशनल स्टेज जो कि प्री प्राइमरी से ग्रेड 2 तक है. देन वी हैव प्रिपरेटरी स्टेज व्हिच इज फ्रॉम ग्रेड 3 टू ग्रेड 5. देन वी हैव मिडिल स्टेज दैट इज ग्रेड 6 टू ग्रेड 8, and then we have secondary stage grade 9, 10th, 11th, 12th. So this is the flow of the event. Foundational stage पे भी हमने civilization explain करने की कोशिश की है, लेकिन foundational stage को ध्यान में रखते हुए, that is pre-primary to grade 2, which will be done by Miss Priyanka. Then preparatory stage is grade 3 to 5, where I will be dealing, that is myself, Dr. Smita will be dealing with Indus Valley Civilization, but keeping in mind the level of the preparatory stage. Mr. Amar is going to deal with middle stage. Mr. Amar middle stage से deal करेंगे, that is from grade 6 to 8. तो अगर grade 6 to 8 में Indus Valley Civilization सिखाया जाएगा, तो कैसे सिखाया जाएगा और किस तरह से अलग अलग subjects को उसके अंदर हम incorporate करेंगे, हम लेंगे उसके अंदर. And then we have secondary stage, that is grade 9 to grade 12, which is going to be taken care by Miss Vandana. So we'll start with Miss Priyanka, foundational stage, and wish you all the best, my dear team members, and thank you everyone for your best wishes. Let's start the flow. Yes, Priyanka ma'am, you can start.
Thank you, Smita ma'am. Namaste everyone. Namaste ma'am. So as Smita ma'am mentioned that I will be presenting a foundational stage. So here is my first slide. I will be taking students to the journey of ancient India. So students, today we will be talking about old India, how it was different from today's time, like when our grandparents were small in their childhood, or maybe many years ago when they were not born. So dear friends, you can type your responses in the chat box. Smita ma'am, can you please help me while reading their responses in the chat box? As I'm presenting, I will be able to see.
Yes, sure, Vandana ma'am. Priyanka ma'am, I'll do that.
So what do you see in these two pictures? If I ask you, what do you see? What do you observe from these two pictures?
City and home.
City and
Uh,
home.
Cement forest. Buildings.
Yes.
An
So
urban setting.
yeah,
Urban setting.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Modernization.
Urbanization. Modern civilization. Lavish house. Yes.
Yes, thank you everyone. So this is how we stay these days in the flats or in landed houses where everything is available. We have all the facilities in the house, and cities are developing. There's lots of construction happening, and we all enjoy. We all have fun. We have color pictures to click where we can cherish these moments later on. But students, the life was not the same. If I talk about 40 years back, the life was totally different. So if you see this picture, there were small gatherings. We did not have the facility to click, color pictures. There were small groups. They did not have those facilities. Now, if I take you to, more 1,000 years back, how was the life? Where the people were living? So they did not have house. They were living in the caves. They did not have proper facilities available. So after that, now you all tell me, what are basic needs? How can we live? What do we need to survive, to live? The basic needs. What all you need?
Air, water, food.
Air,
Shelter,
water,
food,
food.
clothing. Food, water, shelter. Yes. Clothes,
Yes.
food, house. So same answer.
So these are our basic needs. What we need to survive. We need to live. Water, we cannot survive without water. Food, we cannot live without food. Can we all live without food? Can you all type your answer in the chat box? Or can we stay without home? Can we imagine our life without home and
No,
clothes?
ma'am. No, no.
Yes. So many years ago, there were people who were living in the caves. They did not have proper food to eat. How did they survive on food? So they were hunting animals. They used to hunt animals. They used to kill them to fulfill their hunger. So then they were killing the animals. They were living in the caves. But slowly and gradually, they became very smart. They started eating plants also. They started eating the fruits which are growing naturally on the trees. They started having those berries and vegetables. That's how they got to know they can have vegetables and they cannot survive only on the animal killing. That's how the farming started. Then they started farming different kind of fruits, grains, and vegetables. That's how the agriculture has come in the scene, and India has progressed very fast in this. Now, I would request you all to differentiate these two pictures. What do you see? How will you differentiate? What is the difference in these two pictures? So, Smita ma'am, can I get the responses from the?
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the responses, ma'am. I'm waiting for the responses. So tall buildings, skyscrapers, close up and aerial view, tall buildings and small shelters.
Yes. So students, as we live in Mumbai, so Mumbai has developed and we do not have enough space to make the landed houses. We have tall buildings because there is no enough space to make the landed houses. Earlier, this is how, the Mumbai was looking like. People have landed houses to stay. They all were staying in the landed houses. Even now, if we all go back to our hometowns in small cities, there we do not have the culture of tall buildings. You will still see the landed houses over there. So now I will take you again a few years back where we have kacha houses which were not made with the cement. They are all made with the mud and bricks, the clay they have used. So I have shown you one picture where is one guy was sitting in the cave, how were they surviving? They started building the houses, small shelters wherever they have seen the space. So this was totally unorganized. So slowly, if I take you back to these slides, they started becoming smart and they started planning, mapping, and they started building these houses. So earlier, this is how the houses were built. Okay, what do you see in this picture? Why do we use this? Dear friends, I would request all of you to write your responses in the chat box. Why do we use this stationery?
Education,
Thank you. What else?
acquiring, this is study material,
Yes.
recording,
Mm-hmm.
for education, study purpose, to read and write something. If you
To
want to
read and
write
write.
something,
Yes. Thank you,
literacy.
friends.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So now I would ask you, if we do not have notebooks, pen, pencils to write, how will you communicate with your friends who are not staying with you? And imagine we do not have mobiles, we do not have this email facility. How will you do it? How will you communicate with your friends, with your grandparents?
Letters,
Not
letters,
letters.
through birds. There's some, Grexa said through birds, letters.
Yes, so we will use a particular language that we know. Either we will write in Hindi, in any language. We can write in Hindi, English, Marathi, we can write in our mother tongue. So there is a way, if we do not have mobiles, we can write in the on a paper, we can post the letters. But they also, in old times, they did not have all these facilities. What were they using? So what do you see? What is this? Friends, I would request you to write, what do you observe after seeing these two squares?
Seals, known signs and symbols to correspond. Stone
Okay.
sculpture, clay, tablet, inscription, encryption, carving.
Yes. So at that time, they did not have a language which, like we use. We use English, Hindi, Marathi. They were using these signs and symbols to communicate, to convey their messages to their friends. This is how these blocks are made up of clay, mud. So there are a few more examples which I'm showing you here on the screen. These are the different examples. That's how they used to write. They used to draw on the clay blocks to convey their messages. So this is what we have learned for today. My assignment for all of you is, you have to show me, you will draw a picture where you will show me the ancient life and the way life we are living today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Smita ma'am. And
Thank you.
now
Thank you,
Smita
Priyanka
ma'am,
ma'am.
yes, Smita ma'am will be taking over for the next stage.
So, uh, yes. So, namaste everyone. I hope I'm audible to everyone. So I will be dealing with Indus Valley Civilization at the preparatory stage, that is grade 3, 4, 5. So I'll start, and Priyanka ma'am, you can just tell me the comments.
Yes, Smita ma'am.
So children, namaste everyone. Today we are going to learn something new, a very new topic, okay? Tell me, what do you see here on the screen? What do you see on the screen? Quickly.
Ma'am, vehicles, traffic, transport, road,
Yes.
vehicles,
Hmm.
busy road, people, city
Yes.
road, dog,
Yes. Yes. So we see road, we see vehicles, we see an aeroplane, we
people
see
on
tall
a busy road.
buildings. Yes, we see a tall building. There are so many tall buildings behind, right? And the road is very busy. and there are hardly any trees, 3, 4, no greenery at all, right? This is what is the current situation. Don't we see on the road? We see tall buildings, we see so many vehicles moving around, we see the road is full packed, traffic jam everywhere, right? That is what we are seeing these days. But do you think, children, the situation was the same when your grandparents were there? The life they used to live, or your grandparents, I would say, let us go few years back, many years back. Do you think the situation was same? Were
So,
the
ma'am,
roads the
everybody has
same?
written no.
No, there were no tall buildings, there were no busy roads, they did not have such modern vehicles, access to these vehicles, right? So how was the life? This was the life, right? They used to travel on bullock cart, they had small houses, yes, minimum clothes to wear, very simple life. This was the life they used to lead hundreds of years ago. And if you go much beyond that, when the life actually started on earth, it was this kind of life. No houses, no clothes to wear. They used to live in jungles. They used to use stones for everything, right? Very simple life. You don't see any road, any concrete road. There is just grass around. There are some small huts around, and there is not a big community or crowd, 3, 4 people here and there, limited population. This was the life thousands of years ago. Now, what is this? What can I say to this process where from jungles we have moved to small houses, and then we progress to tall buildings? What do you call this? Can you tell me what do we call this? Gradually we are developing. We have developed from one piece of cloth to all possible amenities we have today. What do we call this? What is this development? We have developed.
Then they have
What?
responded development, evolution, modernization, civilization,
Yes, we have
urbanization.
evolved. We have evolved over the years. We have evolved from basic, simple amenities, from jungle life to a modern city life. So, children, this is evolution. And not only in terms of housing and food, we have actually evolved as organisms. From single celled organism, you can see we started as a single cell, one single cell. So, from single celled organism, we have evolved, developed, and we have become a very complex organism, that is human beings, right? So, this process of development, slow development, gradual development, is known as evolution. Why do we say gradual development? Because this did not happen overnight. It did not happen in 2, 3 days or 2, 3 years. It took thousands of years for this development to happen. That is why this process is known as evolution. And why do evolution happen? Because we want to grow, we want to become better day by day, we want to lead a better life day by day, and that leads to a lot of thought process, a lot of inventions, a lot of discoveries, and then we evolve. We all evolve as human beings, we evolve as species, and our lifestyle also evolves, right? So you know what your life is right now. You have evolved into a very complex human being, very smart human being, and we are now moving to age of artificial intelligence where machines are going to take over you. But we need to also understand where our roots were. How did we start our life? Yes, that's very important to know how how our ancestors have gone through their life. Then we'll start valuing what we have right now. So, children, the life on the earth started, and it is divided into 3 stages, or I would say 3 ages. The first age was the Stone Age, the second is the Bronze Age, and the third age in which we are currently living is an Iron Age. Okay, so in short, I will explain you how these 3 ages have grown and how we shifted from one age to another. Okay, how we evolved from one age to another. So, how was the life in Stone Age? Why it is known as Stone Age? Stone Age was initially the start when actually the human beings started living. When the Homo sapiens came into existence, or when the life started on Earth, it started as the Stone Age. That was the first age. And why it is known as Stone Age? Can anybody say me why it is known as Stone Age?
Because most of the things were used made of stones.
Yes, very good. There was no other thing available. It was all trees and stones, animals and stones and plants and trees, nothing else. because there was no development, nothing was there. So they had only stone as one of the resource to make something. So everything, their tools, their equipments, their vessels, whatever they wanted, everything was made up of stone. Okay. And how did they, okay, utensils, vessels, tools, they made up of stone. But then you need food also to survive, right? So how did they get their food? Was that also stone? Did they make the food from stone? Yes?
No, the people have written hunt. Shabnam ma'am has written
To
hunt.
hunting. Yes, they used to hunt. They used to hunt, they used to kill animals, and they used to move around, and they used to gather all berries and wild plants which were lying around, and they used to eat that. They used to hunt for wild animals. Okay, so
It's written hunt and much later by farming. That's what ma'am has written.
okay, that's yes, that's great. But in Stone Age, it was hunting. So they used to hunt, they used to move from one place to another, they used to gather, right? They used to gather all wild animals, plants, berries, and eat. And then they used to move to another place, again searching for other animals, other plants. So this guy, that is why they were known as foragers. Foragers means moving around in search of food. So they used to move around. They were never static at one place. They never lived at one place. They never had a permanent address. We have a permanent address, right? Are we foragers? No, we are not foragers. We have a permanent address. We stay at one place and we get our food. These people used to wander from one place to another, and they led a life of foragers. Okay, students. So this was the life in the Stone Age. But then as they started moving from one place to another, one day, to their surprise, what they saw was when some seeds were sowed in the ground, it it gave birth to a tree, to a plant. And then they realized that planting is also one of the things which can help them. They need not move from one place to another. They can grow their crops, their plants at one place. Okay, so when they got this idea that seeds can be used to grow new plants, new crops, they started understanding what is agriculture. And that was the start of the agricultural phase, where they actually started growing their crops. Okay, and when they started growing their crops, when they started understanding the nuances of agriculture, they realized that they will need animals for that. They will have to stay at one place, because if you're growing your own crops, you cannot move from one place to another, right? So they started realizing that they need not move from one place to another place. They can stay at one place, they can grow their own crops. And for that, they started living at one place. And then they realized that they will also need animals to help in agriculture. And then they started domestication of animals. So this is how agriculture, domestication, all these things started, because man over the years was evolving. He was becoming smarter day by day. And he realized that there are different ways of living a comfortable life. So agricultural revolution was the biggest revolution which happened in our life, children. It gave us stability. Okay. And that led to domestication. So this is how the civilization started. Civilization means people started living at one place in small community, in small groups, because they realized they need not move from one place to another in search of food. They can grow their own food. They can domesticate their animals, right? And when they started living in groups, they started following their religion. They started dividing work amongst themselves, that is job specialization. They started developing their own culture. They started developing their own ways of writing, communicating, right? And then they had a leader who used to take care of the entire community, that is government. So this is how the civilization started. Okay, children, did you understand? This is how the civilization started. The man became more smarter. And then as the man was progressing, was evolving, he became more and more smarter. And they discovered some metals. They saw there were some metals, some hard things lying by. And those metals had the property of being shaped into any structure, any form. Okay, what do we call this property of metal? Where they can be converted into any shape, they can be converted into thin wires. What do we call this property as of metals? Can anyone answer? Yes.
So it's called
Teacher,
malleability and ductility.
Yes, right. So they realize now they did not knew these terms, children, that they are malleable, they are ductile. But yes, they realize that it is better than stone because stone, it is very difficult to convert a stone into a particular shape. You do it, but it's very hard. But metals were easily folded in any shape. They were easily converted into wires. So they started using metals. And as they started using metals instead of stone, we entered into a metal age. Okay, we entered into metal age. Now as we entered into metal age, the people then become more smarter, they became more smarter, and they started exploring more and more. Why how these questions kept on coming in their mind, and they started exploring, they started experimenting, and that led to rise of metallurgy. Metallurgy means they started studying different metals, and they started experimenting कि कौन से metal को किसके साथ हम merge करेंगे तो क्या बन सकता है, कैसे बन सकता है. And that gave rise to a new metal which was known as bronze. They came to know of a new metal which is known as bronze. So bronze is a mixture of copper and tin. And children, they did not have any formal education at that time. They did not have school to go and study. They did not have such big textbooks or Google to research कि क्या होता है, कैसे होता है. But they had a very good quality of exploring every time. So when they came to know about metals, they started mixing them in proper proportions. So they applied their mathematical knowledge here. Okay, they explored and they realized that if 9 parts of copper and 1 part of tin is taken and mixed, you can get a stronger version of metal, which is known as ores. And bronze came into existence. And bronze, people realized that bronze is much stronger than using a single and individual metal. So that gave rise to Bronze Age. So we entered into Bronze Age. Every tool, everything for making anything, people started using bronze. Why? Because bronze was very strong and it does not corrode easily. Corrode means it does not damages easily. Okay. So this is how from Stone Age we shifted to Bronze Age. And children, you can see this picture, all the tools, all their tools, equipments are made up of bronze. Initially, it used to be made up of stone. Now they have started using bronze. So without having anything in hand, they explored, they invented, they discovered, and they entered into a new age of life, that is Bronze Age, which was much more advanced than Stone Age. And that led to advanced civilization. And one such civilization is Indus Valley Civilization, children. We had a very old civilization. The civilization here in India, in Asia, I would say, started with Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization is the biggest civilization in Asia. If you see the, why it is known as Indus Valley Civilization? Because that civilization was settled around Indus River. If you see here, the Indus River, it starts from mountain region, Himalayan mountains, and then it flows through the region of Pakistan, the area which is now into Pakistan, but before it was in India. And then it merges with Arabian Sea. And this Indus Valley, and this, if you see these houses are there around, these are all the houses of that civilization. Can you see it is spread across such a huge area? And that is around Indus River. So people during that time were very smart. They knew that if you want to progress in agriculture, you need water. So they used to search for the locations near water. And this civilization settled around Indus River. That is why it is known as Indus Valley Civilization. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and there are other cities, Lothal. These are all Indus Valley Civilization, students. These are civilizations which settled around Indus River. And they did not have architecture at that time, but their planning was excellent. They can beat the current urban cities. Their planning was so systematic that led to an urbanization. They had modern cities with very planned houses, very well planned houses. Now, these people, they did not have environmental management knowledge at that time, but their priority, the way they had planned their city, was completely keeping in mind the sanitization and health. They had a very systematic water drainage system. If you see here, every backyard of the house has an outlet for water. So whatever wastewater is there in that house gets collected in this outlet, which then goes and meets to the main system. So there was no water littered in the city anywhere. Okay. And that led to dry streets. The streets were always dry, and that led to a complete hygiene in the city always. Children, you must be knowing that more the stagnant water is lying here and there, it becomes a breeding ground for microorganisms. The microorganisms, they love water. The moment they see stagnant water lying anywhere, they start breeding, they start multiplying, reproducing in huge numbers. And but in this civilization, there was no water lying anywhere because they had a perfect water drainage system. So complete hygiene and health was maintained. There was no diseases, unnecessary spread of diseases, and also their equality was maintained. They had a huge water supply from Indus River, but it was ensured that every house, be it the house of the laborer, or be it the house of the merchant, or be the house of the king, every house received equal water supply. So the water supply system was also maintained in such a way that every house used to receive equal water supply, no matter what position anybody holds. Okay, children? Now, Indus Valley, now because it was around the river, agriculture was the main source of food, right? But you need other vocations also to survive. So pottery, cotton weaving, jewelry making were other professions, other vocations which were carried out by people there. Jewelry making, cotton weaving, pottery, I'll show you the pictures ahead. Now, why agriculture flourished during this civilization? At the end of the Stone Age and at the start of the Bronze Age, agriculture just started, but later it flourished like anything. Why was that? Can you tell me, children, what are the basic requirements to have an agriculture, a successful agriculture? What are the requirements for agriculture to flourish? Can anyone say, please?
Ma'am, water, land,
Yes.
fertile land,
Yes.
rainfall, weather,
Yes. Yes.
proper water
Yes.
supply, fertile soil, equipment,
Yes. Correct.
use
So
of animals.
equipments were made up of stones, bronze. Okay, they knew how to make their instruments. They had animals, cow, oxen, and all who used to help them in agriculture. They had enough of land which was rich with alluvial soil, and alluvial soil is the soil which supports agriculture a lot. Okay, alluvial soil is considered as a very rich soil, and it is the best soil for agriculture. And the land around Indus River was full of alluvial soil and also abundance of water because Indus River was flowing throughout the year. It was over flooded always. So that led to a huge increase in agriculture. Okay. Now let us talk about what was the flora and fauna. Now, if your humans are living there has to be some flora and fauna. What do you mean by fauna? Can anyone tell me quickly in one word? What do you mean by fauna and what do you mean by flora?
Flowers, I guess. Flora.
Animals,
Yes, fauna means the
flower.
animal population of that area, the variety of animals found there, and flora is flowers. So they did not have much flowers, but then their fauna, the animals were the animals which can be used to agriculture and which can be used as a source of food. So they had elephants because that used to be helped in transport. See, they did not have vehicles like we have cars and buses and trains and metro. So they used to travel on elephants. They used to travel on horse. Oxen, bulls were used for agriculture, right? Then they used to domesticate goat, sheep because that used to be used as a source of food at times. Then they used to get fishes from Indus River, which also was a source of food. So these were the various types of fauna which was found in Indus Valley. And what was the flora? They used to grow maize, wheat, barley, rice, because that was the food available. And the soil there actually favored the growth of these crops. So this was grown in abundance. What was the art, sports, and culture followed there? If you see these images, these are the artifacts which we got it during the excavation of the Indus Valley. Indus Valley was not existing throughout. After some years, it got drowned. Okay, we'll see later what happened. But then when we excavated the ground, excavated means what? Can someone tell me what do you mean by excavation?
Digging and taking out material from there.
Yes. So when they dug that area, they found out this artifacts were found which showed what kind of art, sports, and culture was existing there. So if you see this lady standing in a dancing pose, that shows that the dance was one of their favorite art form. Okay. Then you see this chorus ka game yahan pe jo dikh raha hai, that shows that they used to play this game. Can you see this pottery made with beautiful painting? That shows that painting was also one of the art form, and they used to make this different toys out of bronze, and that used to be used by the student, by the children to play. So these were the different forms of art and culture, sports form, which was existing during that time. And then slowly, gradually, as man became smarter and smarter, they discovered new metals, and we discovered a new metal which was known as iron. And then they realized that iron is much more stronger than bronze, and slowly we entered into the iron age. So children, we are now into iron age. We have evolved from stone age to iron age. We are still living a life in the iron age, where everything is made of iron around us. All the major things you will see iron existing. Even if you say steel, steel has some amount of iron in it, because iron is very durable, very strong, and that is why the man shifted into iron age. So this is how, children, we have evolved over the three ages, from stone age to bronze age to iron age. Yes, we have become smarter, we have invented so many things, we have discovered so many things, we have made our life so comfortable, so comfortable. But do you think this evolution is real success, children? Can you please share your opinion with me? Is this evolution the real success?
Ma'am,
Is
with
it
the
a
mixed
real success?
response, yes, no. Nisha ma'am is saying yes. Usha ma'am is saying no. Greg sir is saying yes.
Okay, I would like to
So
know,
ma'am
if
is
they are
saying,
saying no, what is the reason behind it?
so
If they
ma'am
are
has
saying
written
no,
only people can love happily and peacefully with all.
yes. So I feel that this evolution is not the real success, because it's an incomplete measure of success. When we talk about evolution, we judge upon the number of material we have grown, okay? What we have produced, what we have reproduced. But we have no regard for individual suffering and happiness, unless until you grow keeping in mind the happiness and suffering of other people. We care for other people, we care for their happiness, we try to reduce their suffering. We cannot say this as a sustainable evolution. We should have a sustainable evolution where we actually evolve, we grow, but we also ensure that people around us, the community around us, is also happy, and they are not unnecessarily suffering because of our growth and development, children. So this is all about evolution, and in future grades, maybe you will learn more in detail about Indus Valley Civilization. Thank you, children. Bye. Yes, thank you, everyone. I would now ask Amar sir to take over the middle age.
So namaste everyone. Uh, just give me 1 minute.
Smita ma'am, you can stop your presentation.
Yeah,
Then
Sinan,
Amar
you
sir
have to
will
stop the
begin.
presentation. Thank you, Sinan.
Sorry, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There's something wrong. Just give me 1 minute, ma'am. Okay, is my slide visible, ma'am? Clear, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
So namaste everyone. So today we're going to talk about Indus Valley Civilization. Before we talk about Indus Valley Civilization, my dear students, I need one favor from you today. So the favor is going to be, whenever I ask you a question or you want to respond, there are two choices. Either you can put your answer in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself if you want to answer, but also on one condition, make sure that if somebody is talking, let that person finish and then you can talk. Or either you can put your answer in the chat box. Priyanka ma'am, I would request you to please help me with the chat box answer.
Yes, sir. We'll do it.
Okay. So, Namaste student, again starting with Indus Valley Civilization. So today we are going to talk about Indus Valley Civilization. Now, what is Indus Valley Civilization, my dear student? Indus Valley Civilization is one of the important civilization of Indian history. So, student, if I go before this, if we talk about today's era, if the today's where we live, we stay in a proper structure building, which is well engineered. There's a proper water supply. There's proper engineering done. The drainage water goes to proper places where it has to go. We have proper electricity supply. But if I ask you a question, was this thing there even in the ancient era? When our great grandfather used to live, do you think this kind of buildings, electricity, proper water supply, do you think it was there at that time? The restaurants, the malls that you go today, do you think it was there?
So responses are no, sir.
Okay, so guys, today
So
we are
Greg
talking about.
sir has written some of the things were.
Okay, so Greg sir, I would really appreciate if you can just unmute and tell me what were the few things that were there.
So, as you said, the civilization that we're talking about, the ancient one, the few ones
Yes.
really had the water supply, if you say so. They were living near the river. So, there was water supply. I mean, they could easily take it, though it was
Okay.
not so like in the pipe that we have right now. Because you said
Okay.
some of the things were there. So, I said some of the things were there. One of the things is water supply, I would say. And then later they were hunting with the food, which even now we are hunting. We have to grow, we have to go, we have to earn. So, I mean, we have to struggle for everything. So some of the things were definitely there, I would say.
Acha, some of them, right. Thank you, Greg sir. It's really good that you know that. That yes, these things were there, but it was not so properly managed the way we were managing right now. Like we have a pipe or water to come into our house directly. We don't have to go to the river, as Greg sir said, right? The things were there, but it was not properly that well. Now, guys, if I talk about Indus Valley Civilization, as I told you, it is one of the important civilization of Indian history. Now, why I'm saying so? Because the modernization, the things that we have today, most of even some of the things were also there even at that time, but we are unaware. So today we are going to talk about those things in Indus Valley Civilization. Now, guys, I'm talking about Indus Valley Civilization. So definitely a question will come: where is this Indus Valley Civilization located? We need to know the geography of it, right? Right. So here in history, we also talk about some geography as well. So where it was. So if you see on the map over here, sir, this part is of India currently, and this part is of Pakistan. So if you see, the Indus Valley civilization was entirely spread to India and Pakistan, and moreover. So if you see this color over here, shaded part, it was Indus Valley civilization. Now this Indus Valley civilization was made up of majority of cities. So some of the important cities were Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Kalibangam, Rakhangiri, Doliwara, Lothal, Surkotada. These were the important cities of Indus Valley civilization. That means not only one city was there, many other cities were there all together to make this whole Indus Valley civilization. Okay. Now let's talk how they were so well equipped, because I told you we also have the things that are available today, but also I told you some of them, most of the things also they were doing at that time. So what were those things that they were doing at that time? Let's check about it. Okay. So we just saw a little geography of it. Now let's see what things were there at that time. So guys, in mathematics, we learn timeline. Am I right? So we know a number line start from negative numbers and with positive numbers, but we do not know from where it start, where it end, right? So also we're going to see some timeline of Indus Valley civilization. So if you check very carefully the timeline, looking from left, because on the number line we always go from left to right? Same way if you see, so around 3000 BC, the Indus Valley civilization began. Means at that time the civilization started. They started staying there in a group or a community. Then shortly after 3000 BC, if you say, they started using symbols and writing scripture as a mode of communication. Okay, and slowly and gradually, if you see in 2300 BC, they started trade. That means they were slowly and gradually developing themselves even at that time. Okay, they were having trade. Now we will talk about trade in the further slide as well, but right now we'll understand on a small scale that they were doing trade. Now, even if we see further, then Aryans started invading, then the early Vedic period unfold, and then later on the destruction of Indus Valley Civilization. That means it got destructed, right? So let's see a little bit about Indus Valley Civilization. So guys, when we stay in a building, we have a proper structure. We have a proper garden. We have a proper building. We have proper place for gym. We have all these things, right? And suppose even if you want to go for some parties, you have restaurant, you have malls. So let's see how these people used to live during Indus Valley Civilization. So if you see as I told you, there were different cities that all together came to form Indus Valley Civilization. Let's talk about the cities. Okay. So if you see how the city pattern was made. So if you see the city was entirely divided two parts. Okay. So one part was residential area, which was the lower part. Okay, at a lower level, and the second part was social organization, which was at a higher level. Now, how it was at a high level, I'll show you that as well. So if I talk about the area where they used to live, if you see the houses was well properly supplied with water and drainage system. My dear student, my question to you is, why is it necessary to have a proper drainage system? Is there any science behind it? Is it necessary to have a drainage system? If yes, why? Why? I have two questions. Is it necessary to have a proper drainage system? And second, why?
So Greg sir
Yes,
has written, we would fall sick if not proper. Ma'am has written yes. So ma'am has written to maintain the hygiene. Amit sir has written water stainage can cause mosquito breeding. Champa ma'am has
correct.
written to allow the flow of water. Ma'am has written sanitization. And Nisha ma'am has written to maintain the hygiene. So Prajakta ma'am
Wow,
has
great,
written yes,
great.
it is so that we don't fall sick. Diseases would spread. No stagnant of water should be there. It restricts other issues.
Yes, great answer, my dear students. You are my really great students. So you are answering very well. So yes, there's a science behind it because we know that if there is no proper drainage system, we are going to fall sick because of different diseases that we are going to get from this collection of water, right? Now that was about the residential part, which at the lower level. Now let's talk about the social organization place, which is at a higher level. Okay, now what are these social organization? Let's check. So, student, in today's situation, we store grains at a house. Am I right? So, my question over here again is there a proper temperature required to maintain those grains at our house, or we can store it anywhere? If anyone can unmute and talk, it will be great. Is it necessary to keep all the granaries like wheat, rice, which we store at our home for 1 month? Am I right? 1 month so that we don't have to go out again and again. Is it necessary to maintain at home and a proper temperature is needed? Do you think so?
Yes, sir.
Why is it necessary?
Sir, if it is kept in a damp place, then it may get rotten. The reason because it catches the dampness of the air or the moisture, and then it starts getting spoiled. And then we have other things also. Some people, add this neem ka patta, I mean, new leaves, or there is some liquid medicine. I'm not able to right now recall the name. So they add that so that it is properly stored and we can use it for over a longer period. That's the reason.
Great. So I would appreciate next time, apart from lecture also, if other people can answer, it will be really great. So yes, it is necessary to
So Amar
maintain
sir,
that.
they are writing it in the chat box. Airtight containers, dry place,
Yes,
preservatives.
yes, precisely. So even science is involved, mathematics is involved, temperature, some science, so that the preservation can go for a long time sustainability, right? Okay. So that was about granary, about social organization, and about citadel. Guys, citadel was a place where they used to have important meetings. They can keep eye on what is happening down. Also, they used to have social gathering. So when I talk about social gathering, what comes to your mind? Come on, everyone, put in the chat box. When I say social gathering, what comes to your mind? Come on. Everyone put it in the chat box. Social gathering. Priyanka ma'am, answer please.
Party, celebration, festivals,
Yes.
meetings, parties.
Yes.
So this is the common.
So my dear student, these are the things that even they used to do. So they used to have the social gathering at a higher place where also which was used for multi-purpose. So they used to have to invigilate what is happening down. Is everything going fine? Second thing, they used to use that for their social organization like parties and other rituals thing, right? Other rituals that they used to follow. And the next thing is the grade bath. Guys, we're going to come to grade bath very soon. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So guys, if you see, this is the proper engineering. If you can highlight this proper engineering which goes building entire city. If you see, there was a proper drainage system connected to the houses like we have today. So we thought that only we are having it right now, and people at that time were not having. So even they were having proper drainage system, and they were much more advanced than we are today. Okay, and if you see, the roads are the drainage system are properly connected from each houses. Okay, and these are the roads that you can see on the right side with my arrow. The roads were properly in proportion. They were made in the proportion of 1:2:3:4, so that the road is properly maintained, and there is no destruction while transportation is happening over there. Okay, so let's move on a little bit further. Yes. Yes, what I mean, all can see this picture right now, right? Can someone tell me what is this picture about, or what do you see in this picture? You can put in the chat box.
Bathtub.
Bathtub, wow. Anything else? See anything else?
No, sir. It's all
Okay.
every day is written bathtub.
So the basic thing I'm talking about is this bathtub. Now, guys, this
Jacuzzi.
bathtub is enough. So if I ask you a little bit of mathematics, because you know volume, how many people can fit into this bathtub?
One.
One,
So
or maybe two as well.
people can sit and one can rest.
Yes, yes. Acha, so guys, there is, acha, this is one question which was related to math. I want to ask you one question related to the culture that is connected to us. So guys, irrespective of any religion we are, is it necessary to take bath before going to any religious place? Whether it's mandir, temple, whether it's mosque, or whether it's to any other religious place? Do you think taking bath is a part of a culture? Yes, no?
It's preferred. Like before going to any place, we need to take bath.
Yes. So taking bath is also connected to a culture. Am I right? That we mostly prefer taking bath and then going to the worship place, right? Irrespective of any religion that we belong to. Okay. So
May I
that was
say
just
something?
yes.
It's not only before going to church and temple. It's also like if you're going for some funeral or you're going to see a dead body or whatever. When you come back, you have to take bath. The reason because the germs might have attached to your body, or even if it's for the hygiene purpose. I mean the other side I'm talking. So it
Yes,
has to
Greg sir.
be.
Very good. So Greg sir, what is that you're talking about? So which
I'm
subject is
also
very connected to your part?
Amar sir.
Science.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So even if we are not going out to church or temple or going to a funeral, even if we are at home, we are supposed to take bath. I hope
We
everybody
are,
is
we are,
doing
we are.
lockdown.
I'm just connecting to a little bit to the culture. There are actually other things as well, but I won't be able to cover all those things.
No, I was just joking. Don't
Thank
take
you,
it
sir.
seriously.
Sorry, ma'am. So I'll come back to Greg sir. Greg sir, any sub, because you said even after coming from funeral we take bath. So any subject is connected to it?
Yes, sir.
Do you think?
Science.
It's science. Thank you very much. So we are not only learning history today, we are learning science as well. We talked about little geography, we talked about science. Now let's come to maths. So guys, the bathtub that you saw right now was small in size. Right now the picture in front of you is actually the Great Bathtub. Okay, from Indus Valley Civilization, and this is a place also of a place of social gathering. Okay, my student, this is a place of social gathering as well. So if you see the size of this bathtub, it is very huge. Now I'll come again to my little math question. So if you can write down which are the shapes, 2D shape or 3D shapes that you can see in this picture, and you can write down the chat box. Priyanka ma'am, we'll need your help now.
Yes, sir. Square, cuboid,
Square, cuboid. Wow.
rectangular.
Rectangle. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, guys, most of the shape that you'll see will be either a square or a rectangle or a cuboid. Am I right? For example, if you see the brick that is used to make this, right, is cuboidal in shape. So now, guys, I'm going to do a little bit of math with you. So we are doing history, but let's do a little bit of math connected to this. So, guys, if I talk about rectangle and cuboid, because rectangle is a 2D shape and cuboid is a 3D shape, right? With additional length, dimension, that is height. So if I ask you a very basic thing is, what's the formula for area of rectangle? You can write down in the chat box quickly. If you think so, you know that.
Length into breadth.
Length into breadth, little bit of mathematics, not going to very high level. If I want to find the perimeter, because if possible, perimeter of rectangle, if you want to find perimeter, 2 bracket length plus breadth, right? And if I want to ask you the volume, because we have learned all this formula, right? If I want to find the volume of a cuboid, that is length, breadth into height. So you multiply all the 3 dimensions. You will have to find the volume. You will get the volume of cuboid. And then if I talk about vertical surface area, the final formula, that is 2 bracket length plus breadth into height. Okay. Now, student, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to quickly write down this formula, because you are my new students who do not know the formula. So everyone quickly write down this formula quickly. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. In short, you can write down. Everyone. Because you people are my new students. So yes, I'm going to tell you a little bit of mathematics today. Come on, quick. Area of rectangle, length into breadth. Perimeter of rectangle, 2 bracket length plus breadth. Volume, simple boss, multiply all the dimensions. And vertical surface area, 2 bracket length plus breadth into height. So I hope all have written. Get ready. It's going to be a quiz round again. Now, guys, you have to find these 4 things for me. Okay, the 4 things for me. So I'm going to give you the dimension of this great bathtub. So guys, if you see this great bathtub again, its actual shape is cuboid. Not a very perfect cuboid, but it's cuboid. So we are going to deal with it. So I'm going to give you the length, breadth, and height of this cuboid. So the length is 12 meter, breadth is 7 meter, and the depth means height, is 3 meter. I'm going to give you 1 minute, everyone, to find these 4 things for me: area, perimeter, volume, and vertical surface area. And the time starts now. You have only 1 minute. The time starts now. Come on. Once you're done, you're going to put the answer in the chat box.
Area is 84 square meter.
Wow.
So I would request everybody to write all
So answer in
together.
the chat box. Yeah, we'll give you 1 minute. So all can have a fair
Yes.
chance.
Or please
to
write
have
all
their
the answers together if possible.
Yeah, if possible. Please.
So volume is 252.
Great, we have reached till volume. Surface area is remaining now.
So perimeter is also remaining.
Perimeter, volume, surface area.
So area, we got volume, we got the answer. Perimeter is
So
38.
let's go quickly. So yes, Priyanka, you can tell me the area, please.
Sir, area is 84 square meter.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You won
Perimeter
the
is
jackpot.
38.
Congratulations, you won a big jackpot.
Volume is 252.
Okay, the very important is cubic meter.
We are waiting for the answer, surface area.
Okay, let's go. Come on. The one who gets the answer.
Let's see who writes it first.
Let's see who gives the answer first. Come on, quick, guys. I'm very happy. I'm very successful in maths now. You people are my new student. You are giving me the answer so quick. Come on. Quick. The first person to give this answer, surface area. The formula is 2 bracket length.
Amit sir has given the answer 114.
Amit sir, you won the biggest jackpot. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. So, guys, these are the answers, and I hope that you learned a little bit of math from me today. So, good job, students. You are really doing good in math. So now, if I move on a little bit further, so guys, we were sticking to Indus Valley Civilization, and we just did little bit of math connected with our history part of Great Bath. Now, guys, we are coming to the next part, that is trade and commerce. Okay. Now, guys, when I talk about trade and commerce, तो ठीक है, जब मैं ट्रेड और कॉमर्स बोलता हूँ, कौन से सब्जेक्ट, विच सब्जेक्ट्स do you think are connected with these two words, trade and commerce? You can write on the chat box. Which are the subjects that you feel are connected with this word trade and commerce? मतलब ट्रेड का यूज आपने कहाँ पे सीखा है, कहाँ पे सुना है? Wherever you listen.
Math,
Yes,
business, maths, economics, accounts.
Wow, wow, wow.
Environmental studies, economics.
Yes, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Civics. It is also connected to our literature because we do trade, intertrade within cities, connected to our literatures, right? So guys, when we talk about trade, these are the subjects that are connected. So when we talk about trade, it is not only connected to only one subject, that is history or math. It is connected to so many subjects. Okay, so we can do trade study in different subjects as well. Now my second question comes after that is, what are the words, common words that comes when I talk about trade and commerce? Common words when I talk about the word trade or commerce. Yes, please.
Currency.
Currencies.
Import, export.
Import, buying and selling. That means.
Taxes.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
Shares, logistics, business, exchange.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Barter system.
Guys,
Profit
yes,
loss.
so guys, but obviously when we're talking about barter system, somebody who said that, great job. So guys, at that time we were doing barter system, and during Indus Valley Civilization there were not actual currency available, like we have 10 rupees note, 5 rupees note. So at that time they used to have barter system where, for example, if Amar sir has rice, I can grow rice, and Priyanka ma'am is growing wheat, we can exchange our commodity as a kind of trade, because at that time currency was not there. Okay, so if I talk about trade, the common word that you said is wants, need, buying, selling, right? These are the common terms that people say. Okay, and these are the unit that we use for trade. Now guys, these are the basic things that you were used during Harappan civilization, sorry, Indus Valley Civilization. So if you see, they were also using scale, but they were not having proper weight. If you see, the weight we have like today, like 20 grams, 50 grams. If you go to a vendor, you will see 100 grams ka weight, you will see 200 grams ka weight, 500 grams ka weight. But at that time, this was not proper. They were using this proper shaped stone for scaling. And again, the ornaments that were used, if you see a pattern of mathematics over here, mathematics pattern. So they were using all these things in trade. Apart from this trade, they were using metal. And guys, when I talk about metals, metals are made by mixing different metals. Am I right? Like for example, bronze. Am I right? When we mix some metals, that time we get this metal. So there is proper use of mathematics over there. In right proportion, we need to mix right metal. Also, for example, if you can take gold, when gold is mixed with other metal, it become a very hard metal, because we cannot wear a 24 a pure gold in our neck, right? Or any ornament made of gold. So you need to mix with little metal so that it becomes strong, right? So there is mathematics involved. Now, guys, coming to the last part of Indus Valley Civilization, do you think we have sports today, right? So do you think at that time sports were there? Yes, no? So yes, at that time the sports were there, but the sports that they have were more of indoor games compared to outdoor games like we have today. So they were using all these chairs, and if you see the cubes made for playing the dices. Okay, these were made from metals and stone. So at that time also they were using, and also guys, they were also having the dance as a form of art. So guys, see how much it is connected with ourselves. When we talk about only Indus Valley Civilization, it is connected to all the subjects that we study, whether it is math, whether it is science, its geographical structure, engineering skills, economics, trade. So they were so well structured even at that time. So for today, we learned a little bit about Indus Valley Civilization. In the next class, we'll explore more. Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amar sir.
I hope I did my best.
Ma'am, Hello, ma'am.
Vandana ma'am.
No, principal, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, we will still require 10 to 15 minutes more. So should we continue now, or should we keep it for other day, like maybe day after tomorrow, because tomorrow Grex's presentation is there.
No, I would like that we finish today
Okay.
itself.
Okay, ma'am.
I hope everybody will cooperate
Okay, ma'am. Fine.
rather than giving it a break.
Okay, fine, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Vandana, ma'am. Yeah, you can start.
Yes, ma'am. Namaste, everyone. So I will be dealing with the secondary stage. So before going to secondary stage, I will just like to ask you that, do you think that we live alone? Do you think that we can do alone in our society, or we can manage all the things alone? I
Vandana
would
ma'am,
just
do you
like
want me to present the screen?
No, not now, ma'am. Still, little battery is there. Then it will start to exhaust. I will just let you know, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Because there is no electricity, that's why. Here is no electricity. Okay, ma'am. Fine. So, ma'am, Channa, Priyanka, ma'am, just let me know the answers from the chat
Yes.
box.
So ma'am has written, brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. No man can live like an island on
Okay.
an island.
No, my answer
Okay.
was for something which Amit sir wrote earlier.
Oh, okay, ma'am. So ma'am, no. So the Excel has written, no man can live on an island.
Okay,
No
ma'am.
man can live like an island, not on island, an island.
So man is a social animal and we like to live in groups. We like to socialize.
Definitely. So with this word, we'll just go ahead at how a civilization actually formed, actually came into the existence. So today we'll just come to know the meaning of the civilization, that we cannot live alone. We need proper structure. Either it's a tradition, either it's a road, architecture, culture, or a system of or pattern of writing. This is what making your civilization. We cannot say I am barbaric. We will say end of the day I am civilized, because you are just living in a group with a group of the people with different organization which is running your country or your place or your locality. So that is what your civilization. So now we need to travel long back. We'll just go 5,000 years back now. So here I'm talking about 3,300 BCE. What happened actually that time? You are living in the modern age. Do you think same kind of the civilization will be there if you will go back? Yes, more smarter, very intelligent, wise. Today we'll just delve into the how your Indus Valley civilization existed that time before 5,000 years, or rather I should say 3,300 BCE era. So here we need to understand one more thing, children, that rivers every time play a big role to settle, to establish any civilization. You can see the Indus River, which we are saying as the Indus River Valley, Indus River Valley, or Indus civilization. Again and again, repeatedly, we are using Indus. Do we actually know how it is originated? So it is originated from the Hindu Kush and Karakoram range of the Himalayas. You can see here in the map. And from here, the glaciers, through the glacier, this river is originating. When we move ahead, we also need to come to know that alone, only one river is enough to settle down in a civilization? I don't think so. Other tributaries, you can see in the blue color in the map of the Punjab, where 5 rivers, that is known as Pannad. Pannad, that word has been taken from the Sanskrit language, and Pannad means 5 rivers. So 5 rivers of the Punjab, that you know, Jhelum, Chenab, Satluj, Ravi, and Bias. These 5 rivers on the confluence of the Indus meeting into the Punjab to the India, then it is making the very broader the course of the river, that is Indus Valley. How that is Indus Valley civilization will be existing, will exist later on. One more thing here I would like to add, that not only these 5 rivers play such an important role, 3 more rivers that time which originated, and that were seasonal rivers, and they were Saraswati, Ghaggar, and Hakra rivers. They were seasonal, and that seasonal rivers, due to the seismic shift in the glacial it started to shift. It just disappeared. We cannot see after many years. So that's why these rivers, so 5 to 7 rivers, which is making Indus River very important, and your civilization developed over there. Now in this map, you can see the rivers, how it is just nearby the rivers, all these places has been settled down. Okay, when we see the rivers are very playing such an important role, do you think that we will be having the contemporary civilization also? Yes, we can see same thing in other countries also, in other continents also. Likewise, we are having Mesopotamian, where the Tigris River was very important, Egyptian civilization, where Nile River was very important, and in ancient China, where Hongwei Yellow River was very important. So everywhere, children, we can understand that rivers really play a big role to establish, to settle any civilization. That is what happened with the Indus River Valley civilization, where the water was coming through the Indus Valley, and that river was the Indus River was the perennial river, that river which flows throughout the year, that river that never dries. Okay, now we need to understand actually what happened that time, that how we came to know, like we are living in this century, and how we came to know that the civilization was over there. So children, when you will do engineering or when you will do mining or excavation kind of the course, then you will come to know in higher studies there is an excavation which was done horizontally by the Archaeological Survey of India. That time, 1924, John Marshall was there and he started to excavate. And that time, definitely India was not free, and Britishers were just that engineers were just working for the track. They just want to do for their trade and business. And when they were just doing and constructing tracks over there, they just found the bricks and they utilized that bricks into the trade, into their tracks. But fine, after many years, when John Marshall took this opportunity to excavate and just to find out actually what happened. So children, here your archaeology plays such an important role to understand actually what happens in the history.
Hello, Vandana.
Yeah. My slide was not moving actually. It got stuck. Okay. So now, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Now you can see the different cities. There was not only the one city we can see nearby the Indus Valley civilization. There were other cities, though we only know Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, but all these cities really played such an important role, because once we excavate the land, we came to know the hidden treasure. My slides are actually not moving.
Vandana ma'am, let me help you.
Vandana, let Priyanka help you. So
Yes,
that
ma'am, I will do it.
yeah, you can do your screen sharing and let Priyanka take care of that.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, we'll move next slide. Okay, so here we need to understand the 3 phases of the civilization. That how from early to mature to late Harappan civilization we moved actually. So you might have studied in the previous class that up to the late Harappan we have discovered iron. Okay, and up to the mature Harappan civilization we have discovered we just came to know about the other metal, that is the bronze, and that's why it is your Harappa civilization is also known as the bronze civilization, also bronze age also. Ma'am, next. Very important thing here we can see that as I told you in the previous slide, that in this civilization also developed like contemporary civilization, like in the Mesopotamia, either in the Egypt. We can see everywhere river was very important. So in fact, this civilization, this culture is known as hydraulic culture, where water was everywhere. Without water, we cannot imagine life. So children, when you go towards the beaches, you can imagine how it is very important to keep it very neat and clean and hygiene. And that's why we need to save a water a lot. Next, ma'am. And with the help of this water, people started to do agriculture. And with the help of the agriculture, the food, the farming which they were doing, at the end of the day, it was saved, or it was just kept in the granary. Granary means it was a very dry structure, dry place, dry structure in the Harappa civilization, where they were keeping this foods and this all the wheat, rice, barley in the safer way. So they have learned this thing, how to keep all this thing in the proper temperature where it will not get spoiled. Next, ma'am. Okay, so here, if you will either go in the Harappa or in the Mohenjo-daro or in other city of the Indus Valley, you will see that every city was divided into the two parts. Like first, that is citadel, and second one, that is your lower town. So in the citadel, actually, what is there? Citadel is little bit elevated. You can see even in the images also that citadel was elevated formation and the lower town was just afterward. It was not that much elevated. So the people who were living in the citadel, we can compare with the today's, if you will see in the next slide. Ma'am. Yeah, how we have in our country, which where we are following democracy, where the Ministry of Home Affairs are there, they are sitting, they are deciding, they are thinking for the welfare of the country. Each and every committee is working and taking care of each and every aspect in our country. Likewise, we can see in that civilization also where the ruling people were living in the citadel. It doesn't mean they were king or any kind of the evidence we have got from that civilization, because they believed in equality. They believe either in the structure, if you will see, either it's a bricks or sanitation, or either it's a drainage system. Everywhere you will see the proportionate and equal length or measurement you will find. It shows that how much they really believe in equality. There was not any bias method we can see in their civilization. So that's what we can compare with today's democracy, and that time they were just following that system in the citadel, the people who were thinking for the people who in the lower cities. Likewise, the people who are sitting in the ministry, they are thinking for us, they are working for us. So this is how your civics, how your civilization work actually with the organization. Next, ma'am. Yes, the very important thing today, your municipality people, that community help us come and let you know this is dry waste, this is wet waste, and you need to segregate it. Though we are educated, but we need to understand, and we are coming up to that earth that we don't know how to manage it. So that's why finally there is a waste management who takes care of it, how to manage it. But those people were very smarter. They were knowing that where to throw the where this waste of the bathroom should go over there, and where it should go in which pit. And in the pit they have just arranged few of the bricks so that the waste or the garbage will get soaked after many days. In that way they have connected each and every drainage system. Even the drainage, if you will see, they have covered with the stone slabs. Here I think sometimes we also follow the rules, but we forget the hygiene, how to take care of it. But that generation, that civilization was very smarter, and they know actually how to maintain all that things. So we can see their waste management was very strong that time. Next. In the Dholavira, one of the site of the Harappa civilization, Indus Valley Civilization, can you see what do you, it's a blue color in the second image. In the first image there is a pit. Can you just let me know what is it actually in the chat box? Yes, Priyanka ma'am.
Hello. Vandana ma'am, I'm presenting. I won't be able to see.
I am there, Vandana. So as of now, I have not got any response. Regarding waste. Regarding waste, maybe for collection of waste.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else would like to tell me actually what they can see in the blue color?
It's a waste pit. Ma'am has written waste pit.
Okay. So here just I would like to tell you that in the Dholavira, From there, the spring water was directly connected and it was kept here in the form of the reservoir. And that's what they were really understanding, that to save water was very important for the future when there is no rain. So we can see in the Dholavira, that is a reservoir where we keep the water for the future, and that's what they know, water harvesting. Yes, ma'am, you said very well. Because they were understanding water is the main resource. Either I'm doing agriculture or business or pottery or entertaining or food, anything, whatever I'm doing in my this culture or in my home, I need water. And that water harvesting already they have done in the form of the reservoir, which we can see in one of the site, that is Dholavira. Yes, ma'am, next. Yes, though you might have understood the math in your previous class, but how science work in the Great Bath, that is in the Indus Valley Civilization, in the Mohenjo-daro, Great Bath is over there. And two things they have utilized, that is the natural tar, and second is gypsum. These two element is having that property which you will get in your environment. So that is natural tar. Tar actually it just keep water from seeping through the walls or used as a waterproof. As here today we are using some chemicals, there is very easily we can see the leakage. But that generation, that civilization was very smart and amazing task they have done in their Great Bath. In fact, in the gypsum you can see it's a sedimentary rock. Gypsum sedimentary rock. It means that where the deposition keep on collecting, where the rivers are flowing. Okay, slowly that deposition will form a kind of a rock, and that is your sedimentary rock you can see. And when you will crush that, you will add few amount of water. That gypsum is having the binding property, and that's what applied on the floor of the Great Bath. And very important thing here, you can see the entire flow of water was achieved by the gravity. It means the fresh spring water was carried here, supplied here. And they were knowing that here gravity works, the law of the Newton works, where the thing will come down, and how they have this aqueduct, the internal aqueduct were over there, and the water was supplied slowly in the Great Bath. So it's really an amazing how they have used their science everywhere. Yes, ma'am, next slide. So in your chemistry class, children, today your teacher will teach that, that actually gypsum is known as a calcium sulfate hydrate, and it is having the property, and it is also utilized in your food industry also, because it solidify the product. And your formula, this formula is CaSO4, that your ma'am will also teach when she will come for the chemistry, to take your chemistry class. Yes, ma'am, next. Yes, so we know that economy, each and every civilization, they cannot survive without currency, though the currency was not there, but without exchanging of anything, they cannot live. They need to survive, they need something, and they were really having such a good relationship, which I think today we are lacking. We have banned many products and apps through with the country. Can anybody tell me? We have banned many of the apps and many products with one of the country at present.
China.
Yes, TikTok app and China. Yeah. So we need to build such a good relationship with other country to flourish, to have good relation, to do business. And that's what they have done that time with Afghanistan, with Iran, and they used to import the important things like turquoise was not there in the Indus Valley Civilization, so they used to take from the Iran. So in that way we can see that how they were exchanging the things, because here they are growing grains, all the important pottery and metallurgy, they were so expert. So that exchange of the things we can see in this civilization. And they feel so, and they were using their this clay kind of the stamp or seals, we can say. It just show their feeling of pride that is our product, we are just exchanging to you. So that feeling of pride with their culture, everything we can see in this civilization. Yes, ma'am, next. Yes, ma'am, next. Yes, as far as religion is concerned, we cannot see any kind of the temples, unlike to the Egypt civilization, where they believed a lot in the Egypt god and other religion also. But in Indus Valley civilization, they just believed in the yes, they believed in the goddess of the fertility. It means they believe that this mother earth, the जो हम जिसे कहते हैं जन्मभूमि बहुत जरूरी है, हमारी मातृभूमि है, वहाँ की मिट्टी है. At that touch, that feel we can see in the civilization, where they have utilized each and every resources which was available. Either it's a silt which was good for the agriculture, either it's a clay with that they have prepared the many toys, either it's a terracotta. I will just let you know what is actually terracotta. It's also kind of a clay, and with the help of the terracotta, they have prepared many of the important pots which they utilize later on to keep things safer and very strong. And even we can see the form of the meditation kind of the statues or remnants, artifacts, which just says that they believed in mindfulness, they believed in the position of the meditation, which is really very good. So they have given the importance to all these things in their life. Yes, ma'am. Next, ma'am. Yes, arts. This is what I told you. They were doing the exchange, and they. Yes, ma'am. Next. Terracotta. Terracotta plays such a big role. Ma'am, next slide. Okay, because the properties of terracotta, if you will see, it's actually porous clay. They used to bag it. Even the bricks were also bagged that time. So they used to bag the terracotta so that burnt clay will give you the different shade. Today we love too much pottery and different pots, but that time they have done. Even we will try to do in the form of pottery in our school, but you can see how terracotta, it was having such a distinct types of the clay, which really you will find, it will show you the different color, either red, orange, or coloring, whatever the color or shape you want to give, because it gives that kind of the shining which will really make the product or your toy or your pottery so attractive that you can see in this civilization. Yes, ma'am. Next. Yes. So now we'll see how much they were hygiene, health, agriculture, water important, conservation, harvesting. Then end of the day, we can see they were not, it's not like that anything happens and they cannot cure that thing. All the medicines, they believed in Ayurveda too much. And the things from the stone, from the rocks, they got it, they utilized in many of the ways. That one of the medicine was very popular that time, which archaeologists came to know, that was the Shilajit. And Shilajit, it's one of the very good medicine in Ayurveda, which really cures innumerable things. And that thing that civilization has discovered long back. So either it's a herbal medicine, which they know how to extract from the plant, how to cure. This is because they believe in hygiene, good health, no disease at all. So we can just imagine that how was that civilization. Next, ma'am. Yes, the Shilajit, which how they got in the, ma'am, before previous slide, ma'am. It's a Shilajit, how they got it in the rocks, and they utilize it because it's an antioxidant, and it's really very good and having many innumerable good impact in our health. So we should understand and we should really value a lot to our Ayurveda. Yes, ma'am. Next. Yes. So now, my friends, I leave it on you. When anything we utilize a lot, I mean to say, your natural resources, if we are utilizing optimum, and we don't know when to stop it, because when we utilize anything beyond its optimum limit, we should be ready with the consequences. Now I leave it on you. The civilization who flourished, who settled, and they were urbanized. In fact, I should say it was one of the urbanized civilizations. They ruled for many years, but every time we see in our history, there is a declination. Why? What happened actually in that society, in that civilization? They were not aware. They don't know how to use, how much we should utilize all the natural resources. We should put full stop somehow, because today we are doing same thing. The way from 7 to 8 months we are on the verge of the COVID-19, which is just giving you the message. Now Earth needs to heal. That's what these are the probable reasons actually. Maybe there flood, maybe there earthquake, or maybe there are any kind of the invasion. So that's what it just completely destroyed the civilization. Then other migrators also came, Aryans, and many more things happened after that. But we need to understand, we need to become we need to become here mindful. We need to become here responsible citizens. We need to understand that how much it is important to sustain anything in our whatever the resources which we are getting in our environment. Thank you so much.
Yes, so we are done with our presentation, and we are extremely sorry for crossing the time limit. It was too long, I understand. And we are sorry for that. So you can just quickly, ma'am, your opinion or your suggestion, feedback, or anybody can give, can give us some feedback of where. First thing, I know that we lacked in time management because we did not anticipate the interaction time with the audience. But other than that, which people can please share with us. Thank you.
So, good evening and namaste to everyone. It was an excellent presentation. I feel you have set a high bar for everybody else to reach. We can understand the time has been crossed because each one of you wanted to give it as a proper, complete demonstration, as a complete lesson, and we appreciate that. I think it also gave an idea to the future presenters to keep an eye on the time that they are going to take, but then that is secondary for me personally. But yes, as a teacher, we have to see that we remain within the given time limit. It was an excellent session. Only one or two few things which I would say is in some places in the last two cases, we could see more mention of the subject's name. We can start mentioning the subjects even in the foundational and the preparatory. So the words have to be spoken. This is chemistry, or this is biology, or it's a subject which deals with this. So children get an idea of holistic learning. They understand, okay, there are various subjects, and every subject is important to understand any concept, any topic. So you all did that wonderfully well. I hope my point was clear that we can mention the subject name more clearly, which I saw a little lesser in the first two parts. It was an excellent presentation. I think I would just keep on repeating the same, so I'll give an end to it. You all have put tremendous efforts. It can be seen. I would just like to summarize by saying that interdisciplinary, if it could have been started with the definition of it. So multidisciplinary, sorry. So multi is many and disciplines means subjects or various subject areas. So you could see कि हर लेसन में बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट्स को उन्होंने टच अपॉन किया, चाहे वो कॉमर्स रहा हो, वो ज्योग्राफी हो, एनवायरमेंटल हो, साइंस हो, मैथ हो. तो इस तरह सारे सब्जेक्ट्स को एक कॉन्सेप्ट समझाने के लिए यूज करना, उसको मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच बोलते हैं. यहाँ पर इन्होंने एक टॉपिक लिया है और ये बताया है कि अलग अलग सेक्शंस में कैसे उसी एक टॉपिक को मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच से पढ़ाया जा सकता है. सिमिलरली आगे के जो प्रेजेंटर्स हैं उनको सिर्फ एक आइडिया देने के लिए कि ये टॉपिक हाउ आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग इज कि आप फाउंडेशनल लेवल में आप एक टॉपिक लेंगे, उसको आप मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच से समझाएंगे, दूसरे लेवल में आप दूसरा टॉपिक लेके मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच से समझाएंगे. बट देन इट डजंट मैटर कि आपने वो फॉर्मेट नहीं फॉलो किया, आपने सेम टॉपिक अलग अलग लेवल पे. इससे सबको ये भी समझ में आया कि कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी कैसे एज वाइज ग्रो होगी. So kudos for taking up the same topic, giving a clarity on how it can be treated in a different way according to the different age groups or the pedagogical grouping that NEP has suggested. पर बाकी सबके लिए आप ये सिर्फ क्लैरिटी में दे रही हूँ क्योंकि कंफ्यूजन नहीं होनी चाहिए कि मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी का मतलब ये नहीं है कि एक ही टॉपिक सारे ग्रेड्स में होना चाहिए. आप जिस भी ग्रेड में आप जो भी टॉपिक पढ़ा रहे हो उसको मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी कैसे बनाना है. और जरूरी नहीं है कि हम उस सब्जेक्ट्स अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स के सारे टीचर्स को इन्वॉल्व करके ही मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी बनाएंगे. हम अकेले भी खुद भी एज अ पर्टिकुलर सब्जेक्ट टीचर हम दूसरे सब्जेक्ट्स की थोड़ी थोड़ी जानकारी लेकर अपने पढ़ाते वक्त उन सब इंफॉर्मेशन को अपने टीचिंग में बच्चों को दे सकते हैं. It was an excellent session. I'm very proud of each one of you. God bless you. You outdid our expectations. Extremely happy with it. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.